Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are going deep into the world of digital forensics. We're going to see how cyber detectives hunt down criminals in a world where the crime scene is, well, completely invisible. So, let's get our digital magnifying glasses ready and start the investigation.
You know, Shakespeare really hit the nail on the head here, and it applies perfectly to cybersecurity. A tiny, unnoticed breach, that little fire, can explode into an absolute disaster that becomes nearly impossible to put out. So yeah, catching it early, it's everything.
And right there, that is the million-dollar question for any digital detective. I mean, how do you even know a crime is happening when the intruder doesn't leave fingerprints and doesn't make a sound? How in the world do you catch a ghost in the machine?
Well, the answer starts with our lead investigator. But before we meet them, we have to understand the exact crime they're trying to solve. So in our digital crime scene, the intrusion, that's the felony. It's someone breaking into your digital property, and they're not there to be friendly. This is the break-in, the trespassing. It's where our whole investigation kicks off.
Okay, so let's meet our first detective, the Intrusion Detection and Prevention System, or IDPS. You can think of it as a super sophisticated burglar alarm for your entire network. Its one and only job is to spot that break-in and sound the alarm loud.
And this is where that last letter, the P for prevention, is so important. See, the original systems, they were basically just watchdogs. They could bark when they saw a burglar, sure, but the modern IDPS, oh, it's a full-on guard dog. It doesn't just bark, it jumps in and actually tries to stop the attack, maybe by cutting the connection or blocking the intruder completely.
Now, you know a single detective can't cover an entire city, right? You need a whole team, each with their own specialty, all placed in strategic spots. It's the exact same idea in the digital world. Our investigators come in a few different flavors.
So first up is the network-based IDPS. This is your cop on the beat, the highway patrol for your network. It literally sits there and watches all the data packets flying by, looking for anything suspicious, like a car weaving all over the road. It has a great bird's-eye view of the whole highway. Then, you've got the host-based IDPS. Now, if the network-based one is the cop on the street, this one is the security guard posted inside a really important building, like a bank vault. It's not watching traffic outside, it's focused on one specific high-value computer, making sure no one messes with anything inside.
And this really lays out the trade-offs, doesn't it? The network cop has that wide view, which is great, but it can't see what's inside an encrypted armored truck passing by. The guard inside the building, on the other hand, sees everything that happens on that one machine, even after the data is decrypted. But they're isolated, and if that computer gets compromised, so does the guard.
Okay, so we've got our detectives in place, but how do they actually know when a crime is happening? Well, they mainly use two very different investigative styles.
The first method is signature-based detection. Think of this as our veteran detective. They've been on the force for 30 years and have a huge book of criminal mugshots and fingerprints, all the known attack patterns. They're just looking for an exact match. Then you have anomaly-based detection. This is our rookie detective. They don't have all that experience, but they have amazing instincts. They spend time learning what normal looks like, and the second something just feels off, they raise the alarm.
But, of course, no detective is perfect. Sometimes they get it wrong. A false positive is just a false alarm. It's the cat tripping the motion sensor at 3 a.m. The big problem here is if you get too many of these, people start ignoring the alarms altogether. It's a real thing called alert fatigue.
But what's way, way worse is the false negative. This is every detective's absolute worst nightmare. This is when the burglar breaks in, steals everything of value, and the alarm system never even chirps. For a company, this is just catastrophic. The damage isn't just what was stolen. It's that terrifying realization that your defenses failed you completely and you didn't even know it.
So our detectives are doing great work out on the street and inside the building, but they can only see their little piece of the puzzle. For a real investigation, you need a command center to bring all the clues together and see the big picture.
In the world of cybersecurity, that command center is called a SIEM. That stands for Security Information and Event Management System. You can think of it as the central forensics lab. Its job is to collect every single piece of evidence, all the log files, from every source imaginable and put it all up on one giant investigation board.
And what's so cool here is how a SIM turns total chaos into something you can actually understand. I mean, it takes millions of individual little clues and transforms them into a single visual dashboard.
All of a sudden, those spikes you see in a trend graph or a cluster of alarms on a map, they become visible patterns. It gives investigators a real-time view of what's happening across the entire organization.
So the bottom line is that a SIEM isn't just some passive TV screen. It's an active investigation hub. It lets you monitor things in real time to catch intruders faster. It tracks what users are doing to spot insider threats, and it even pulls in intel on the newest criminal tactics. It's the whole shebang for managing an investigation.
You know, the best detectives don't just wait around for crimes to happen. They get proactive. They set traps, they run sting operations to catch the bad guys red-handed. And guess what? Digital detectives do the exact same thing. They do this with something called a honeypot. It's basically a decoy, a fake server or a fake database that's filled with juicy-looking but totally fake data. It's designed to be an irresistible target for hackers. So when they break in, they think they've hit the jackpot. But in reality, they've just walked right into a digital trap where their every single move is being watched and recorded. Now, this brings up a really fascinating legal line that these digital detectives have to be careful not to cross. It's legal to entice an attacker, set out an attractive target and just wait. But it's illegal to engage in entrapment, which is luring someone into committing a crime they had no intention of committing in the first place. It's a very subtle but very critical legal distinction.
And that really brings us to the heart of this whole digital crime story. It's this never-ending cat and mouse game. As the detectives' tools get smarter and more sophisticated, so do the criminals' methods. In this constant arms race, where these little fires can become infernos in a heartbeat, who's really one step ahead? That's the question that's going to define the future of our connected world.